The WBC's American heavyweight chump is at it again. Virgil condemns Deontay Wilder's comments about death in the ring, in which he should. Deontay Wilder sounds absolutely crazy talking this shit. Deontay Wilder risks his legacy with irresponsible comments about death in the ring, says trainer Virgil. Hunter, who trains Wilder's opponent on Saturday, Dominic Brazil, said he was disappointed in the champion. He really needs to ask himself, that's what I'm all about, he said? Is this the legacy I want to leave? I think this is something that Deontay has to deal with internally, Hunter told BBC Sports in New York. It is the example I want to show and come to grips with. I think in the long run, an apology is in line. Former heavyweight champion Frank Bruno criticized Wilder's comments on Twitter, while former two-weight world champion Nigel Benn said the comments were a disgrace to boxing. And if anybody knows Nigel Benn, he was in a boxing match that left a great fighter in a vegetative state. This guy will say anything to heighten his profile, the heavyweight champ said. I never got in the ring to kill a man. This boxer gives the sport a bad name. When asked about the issue, BBC Sports on Wednesday said, I don't regret nothing I say. I'm passionate about what I say and passionate about what I do. I've always been real. I don't worry about being politically correct. Hunter, who also trains Britain's Amir Khan, added it's the wrong way of going about promoting. I'm really disappointed in Deontay. He has the world. So speak in his hands, and he is letting it slip out and making statements like that. That makes people cringe. It's irresponsible. I like the former cruiserweight champion, Tony Bellew. Well, the likes of former world cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew and promoter Eddie Hearn have criticized Wilder's words in the past. The Americans have shared a rivalry with Brazil, which intensified. The pair became embroiled in a hotel scuffle in 2017. Brazil said Wilder punched him in front of his wife and children. Asked about Wilder's comments, Brazil told BBC Sports it's definitely not appropriate. You never want to say that about an opponent. You've got to have sportsmanship. You've got to be a professional in the sport. You never want someone to be harmed in a fight. And this one, I understand we have personal reasons and a personal vendetta, but if he gets hurt, so be it. But do I ever wish death on someone? No, of course not. Brezeale 33 has lost 1 of 21 fights in the 7th round knockout by Britain's unified world champion Anthony Joshua in 2016. The American will look to inflict his first defeat on Wilder, who has 40 wins and a draw in 41 fights, in a bout which will be covered in a live text by BBC Sport in the early hours of Sunday morning. Now, Deontay Wilder should be absolutely ashamed of himself. Now the world is coming to speak out. And now when you got Nigel Benn, a guy who's been through it, man, you should be ashamed of yourself. 2 hands. Let's go.
Heard Michael Katsidis saying he was prepared to die in there to beat Graham Earl. They all know the score. Sometimes things go exceptionally well. On other occasions, though, things go badly wrong. I want to turn the clock back 12 years to the night when Nigel Benn of Britain met the American Gerald McClellan in Docklands. It was compelling. It was ferocious, and ultimately it was very sad. Benn stopped the American. Both men ended up in hospital. McClellan sustained brain damage, and he has never recovered. Next weekend here in London, boxing does its bit for the G-Man with a fund-raising dinner for him. Nigel Benn will come face-to-face with Gerald McClellan for the first time since that night, February the 25th, 1995. Gabriel Clark starts his report with the thoughts of Nigel Benn.
I don't know how I'm going to react when I see you. I might break down and cry. I just don't know how I'm going to be. I really don't know. I actually dealt with it, but then I realised when I saw that, no, I haven't dealt with it. There's a lot of issues that I have to kind of clear up with myself that maybe to set me free.
Come on, G-Man. I hear you, G-Man.
I can do it all.
It's the father of the decade.
Without a doubt, he can't box.
I ain't going to lose no sleep over it.
I hear you, G-Man.
By 27, Gerald McClellan was a double world champion at middleweight. A fearlessness came naturally. Pit Bull Terriers were his first love.
It's a miniature Mike Tyson.
What a handsome fella. And stripped off, he was like a wedge. He should have been one of the greats.
It was the G-Man's first fight at super middleweight. Stan Johnson led his corner team. McClellan had fallen out with his coach, Manny Stewart.
It's the fight of the decade.
It's going to be absolutely dynamite.
So I don't plan on being in the ring that long.
Entering the London arena did not scare the 4-1 on favourite.
First round knockout.
And I remember him hitting me. Well, I went back and then he punched me again. And I felt all my ligaments in my neck just stretched and I went out.
I thought, we're going to have a one-round knockout. And I found myself pushing him back. And I'm thinking, what am I doing?
I couldn't see it going past the first round.
To be brutally honest with you, he'll meet a shell of the man he met 12 years ago.
You? 1, 2, make the G-Man get busy.
He's near blind, he's got a little bit of vision. Near deaf.
I have a lot of photographs of you, Joe. I have a lot of photos of you.
Louder. I don't know if he remembers Nigel Benn. I really don't know. I don't know if he remembers that fight.
My home is your home, man.
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you.
Second time.
Good right hand from Ben. There's the old Dark Destroyer.
Round 2.
It's one of them things that, you know what, I'm not one of them Brits that going to lay down. I'm proudly British, I'm going to go out on my shield.
I don't think he was the same after that fight.
No?
No.
He gave as much as he could in that fight. You couldn't give any more.
Ben moved to Mallorca 5 years ago. His emotional intensity is now devoted to his family and the faith that's replaced boxing. Something had to.
Sitting in my car, put a hose in my car. 2-time world champion, crying my eyes out. All I wanted someone to do was grab me and say, you're going to be all right.
But you attempted suicide.
Philip. For a lot of things people don't understand. I struggled. And now what, you know what? I come out of darkness, now I'm walking in light. Come on.
£700,000 was Ben's purse for the fight. McClellan's net fee would be $40,000.
Well, I'm convinced that Gerald wanted to quit earlier in the fight. He was struggling with his mouthpiece. He was breathing more heavily, and he was starting to blink.
I'm thinking, you know, what a mistake you've made, getting rid of the people that was working with you. And I'm there. I'm supposed to be the thick paddy watching all what's happening. And I'm thinking to myself, this is organised chaos.
Even when he put me down in round 8, I had to win. I just had to win.
Don't forget the gem.
For the life that I wanted, I had to win. Secure my family's life. Set me free.
So I don't plan on being in the ring that long. His boxing career will be over.
You are my favorite fighter.
Set me free. I read an article in a paper that said, we wanted Ben dead, now we want his money.
Someone came a long way to visit you.
It's the last chapter of his boxing past, the Dark Destroyer. He just wants to, you know, close that book.
I think for Gerald's sisters, I think I have to ask him for forgiveness.
3 rounds to go.
10th round. And he's shaking his head, he's going to count him out, isn't he?
I was ecstatic, but I was annoyed.
Yeah, Nigel. No, you listen to me.
Ben going wild.
Charlie brought him over here to bash me up.
Listen to me.
The person I'd like to thank most of all is
Paul McKenna.
Paul McKenna.
And this guy is collapsing at my feet, and I'm the only one outside the corner men who can see it.
It clicks in then that there's something wrong.
We've got a stretcher in here, Nigel.
McClellan was slipping off his stool.
We're going to wrap this interview because we have a serious problem with Gerald McClellan. Enough with the fucking camera, man. That's enough.
Nigel blames himself a lot. I don't blame Nigel Benn for anything he did that night.
Muslim, come here a minute quick. Take your hat off, please. I say to him, boxing's the only game you can what?
Legally get killed.
Understand?
Gerald McClellan receives no pension or income from boxing. He still loves the sport.
You're my favorite fighter. Cessna. You are my favorite fighter.
Mean it?
He wants to be remembered as a champion.
Shit, hey!
A minimum of 100,000. That's what I anticipate to generate that night for Gerald McClellan.
Mwah.
This reunion of the two of them is far more important than that fight. Much, much more important.
I think seeing him, I don't know. I just want to do something for him. That's what's in my heart.
Yo, I ain't got no two hands for y'all today. Y'all know what this is. Deontay Wilder, you're a sucker. You need to change the way you think. Change the way you talk. Learn how to fucking represent your fucking country. Because you can't even do a good job at that. I showed y'all this video of Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan so y'all could get a good idea of why we don't need motherfuckers like this in the game. And if you represent this motherfucker as your heavyweight champion of the world and you don't fuck with Anthony Joshua or you don't fuck with somebody else in the heavyweight division, shame on you. I wanted to capture the scene where Nigel Benn was at the dinner, and that's the first time he got to see Gerald McClellan since the accident. And Gerald McClellan said to him, "You ruined my life. Like, I should hate you," or something along those lines. Nigel Benn goes around the corner and he breaks down and he cries like a baby. It was one of the hardest things I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, I even cried when I seen that shit. But from the clip that I just gave y'all, I'm sure y'all got the idea. Motherfuckers like this cannot be tolerated. Dominic Brazil, I need the best you. We need the best you. We need everything you got. We need you to leave it on this floor because this guy needs to be eradicated from the fucking sport. Because real gangsters don't talk like that. You know what I mean? I don't talk about my life and the shit I used to do and stuff like that, but I used to do things that wasn't, you know what I'm saying, the best. I used to be in the streets. I used to run around. I used to do all types of wild shit. And that's all I'm going to say on that. You know what I mean? Because I ain't that person no more. But shit like that make you, you know what I'm saying, really just want to, you know what I'm saying, give a motherfucker that work. Whether it's with these or just completely wash his ass and do him all the way dirty, man. So, you know what I'm saying, once prayers to Gerald McClellan, man, the pit bull, you know what I'm saying, he was a straight dog. The G-Man was a god in the ring. Nigel Benn, you did nothing wrong, but it shows the humility and it shows the empathy of a passionate human being, and that it still weighs heavy on your heart today. This man talk about committing suicide, things of that nature behind what he did, and something that he never wanted to go in that direction. And now Deontay Wilder, you are fucking trying to welcome shit like this. And it's downright disgusting. You have children. Somebody talked about your kids in that fashion. How would you feel about it? And like I said, man, we need to get them up out of here. Now, 100%, this is me being biased, fucking on the two-hand show. I want Dominic Brazil to win. And if you got a problem with it in my comments, fuck you. I don't care. I want Dominic Brazil to win. He has got to go. I've expanded on the article. I gave y'all a video that I watched several years ago that I never wanted to see anymore, but I had to pull it up to show why you shouldn't say the shit like you saying. Man, this the Two Hands Up show, man. This your man 3K the Boss, a.k.a. Mr. Two Hands Up. You know what it is. Prayers to Nigel Benn. Prayers to Big G, Gerald McClellan. Prayers to everybody, you know what I'm saying, who suffered any type of loss in a sport and, you know what I'm saying, had to come up out of it early, man. Prayers go to y'all, man. But for this fuck nigga, man, we got to wash his ass on Saturday night. That's a fact. Man, two hands, man. It costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Respect.